Good morning, everyone. Meets the Money Honey here. It is Tuesday, January 28th, 2025. And I wanted to start with looking at a couple of crypto charts. We're looking at Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart. We have had a bounce since all of the interesting news yesterday with the huge market sell-off and the introduction of the DeepSeek AI model coming out of China that disrupted, the major tech players yesterday, and we had a pretty significant sell-off in crypto as well. But there's some debate going around out there because of the announcement coming out of the new administration that the U.S. is going to seek a strategic cryptocurrency reserve. And two of the names that have been floated, of course, are Bitcoin and the other being XRP or Ripple. So I wanted to give my take on the differences between the two. And this is XRP on the 4-hour chart. And as you can see, we've got a bullish signal here and we're moving up again. But I wanted to give my take on the differences because it seems like these two communities are after each other. They're at each other's throat and saying that XRP is superior to Bitcoin and vice versa. And the reality is they both should be a part of the strategic reserves because they have completely different functions as well. I think what we've seen emerge as the main functions for each of these and the technology behind it. So Bitcoin obviously is being adopted, on a larger scale by institutional investors. A lot of investors are realizing that it is not only a fantastic investment, but a store of value. And, we can liken it more to the commodity of owning, metal, gold, silver, something like that. It's going to store your value. And it has been labeled a commodity by the SEC. And I like to think of Bitcoin more along the lines of like owning real estate or property. Because, you know, back in the golden ages, when Americans were buying their first home, in I'd say the golden ages from the 1950s to the 1970s. The dream was to be able to buy a home and have it appreciate over time and retire off of the equity in your home. That would be your nest egg, as well as a pension, which we know pensions don't they're scarce. If you have a pension, that's a rare thing these days. And we also know that real estate has been pretty volatile in the past few years because we've got a central bank controlling interest rates, and that has a huge effect on the economy. And you may have this huge swell in your equity when market prices are driven up by cheap money or low interest rates. And then when we start to see inflation, interest rates rise, and it affects the real estate market. Market slows down, prices fall, and equity gets dried up. So I like to think of Bitcoin as a store of value. So you earn your money and you move it over to Bitcoin, and that is your new nest egg. And the reason you can depend on that, I know it's volatile. I mean, we are really still in the early adoption phases of Bitcoin. This thing is just now beginning. And I know everybody says, "Oh my gosh, it's 102,000." And that's so expensive. This is only the beginning. Um, so I like to think, all right, if I made a bunch of money, let's just say in the stock market, And I did not want it to be affected by an interest rate decision or a declining economy or a dollar that is weak and we've got high inflation and all of these kinds of things, then I would put it in something that was decentralized and could not be manipulated by a single person, government, or corporation. And that's the beauty of Bitcoin. It's decentralized. It's controlled by the people. It's not controlled by a government or a Federal Reserve or something like that. Now, XRP or Ripple uh, can be thought of as a payment system. That's exactly what it is. And we're seeing, banks adopt this. And you can think of it as, okay, so now we have to move money. We traditionally use the SWIFT banking system, and it costs a lot. It's slow. And it takes time to settle. So if you've ever had to, send money or wire money or an ACH transfer or something like that, it actually can take, up to 5 days, depending on your location, to settle before you get your money. So that's a problem. It's antiquated. And with Ripple, they've been developing this for the past 10 years. They've secured, I think, 50 licenses, uh, over for money transmittal over the past 10 years. This thing's been in development. And so that's why we're looking at it in the United States, because it not only solves the problem with SWIFT, it can reunite a global economy because everybody could use it. And it's much faster, much cheaper, and it generates yield. So if you invested in XRP, it's just up, 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 up because you collect a yield on every transaction. And if you think about the amount of money that's moved around the world on a daily basis, that's significant. Um, so it's more like a payment system. It could be a store of value also, but keep in mind XRP is privatized. This is owned by a company. Oh, and look at that. We just got ourselves a strong bullish signal on the daily chart. I wonder why. People are starting to figure this out. So it's privatized, just like the Federal Reserve is privatized. And people don't know that. They think that it's a government-owned entity. It is not. It's a private company, and XRP is as well. So that is the major differences between the two. And I just wanted to put that out there. It's not one that's better than the other. They both do great things for money. Um, but I think that having both of these assets in the strategic reserve would do wonders for not only the United States, but the global economy as well. So that's my little spiel on that. I do want to take a look at the markets, but I'm just going to use a screener. And keep in mind, we do have some economic news coming out today, 8:30 and all the way through 10 o'clock. We've got economic news that could cause some volatility. So just beware there. But let's take a look and see what's up today. We'll use our scanners to do that. Let's go to extended hours because the market's not open yet and sort this thing. Oh, good grief. I do the same thing every day. I apologize. So I'm not seeing, the mega caps. Nvidia's had a bounce, which I mean, I called that yesterday. I don't think Nvidia is dead. Let's put it that way. So they're bouncing. A lot of other large caps, when I looked at it earlier, were bouncing as well. But we've got some market movers today. Yesterday was pretty bleak looking. Let's take a look at this Bio-Rad Laboratories up 7%. Probably some news. It looks like we've got some earnings that maybe have come out. I like to look at the overall chart. We are in an uptrend, showing a take profit of 395. So this would be a fantastic options trade, I would think. But let's look at the lower time frame. Looks like volume's kind of spotty here, but I mean, let's see what this looks like. Yeah, it's pretty low volume. Um, and I can't really get a read on, I mean, we've definitely had a jump in the stock price. And it's up 25 bucks. That's significant. I would just be careful with this one. It is showing another, couple of bucks, but I think because this thing has jumped so high, I would look for a better entry point. I would let it kind of fall back down to earth a little bit. See, it's way up here. That's crazy. I would let it fall back to earth a little bit and then get back in after it comes back down and ride it to this take profit level. Oh, good God, it's ballooned that out of the water. Of 395 is where we're saying the second profit level would be. So it's still $15 a share higher than what we are at now. So that's significant. But anyway, make sure you set your stop loss. Uh, if you like what I'm bringing every day, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. It helps me out. And if you've got any suggestions, things you'd like to see, please leave those comments for me because I do look at it, and I appreciate your feedback. Happy trading today. Thanks so much for joining me, and we will see you back here tomorrow. Take care.